This is the video review for the Transformers Beast Hunters. This is the Predacons Rising Beast Fire Predaking. Got him at Target today. He comes in this giant blue box. It's hard to see. Let's see if we can zoom out here on this box. Giant blue box. Gonna be really hard to miss on the shelves at Target. Target exclusive. Giant Predaking. And he's much bigger than the Voyager Primal and the Voyager Predaking, actually. Very large. It says it's got a 21-inch wingspan, and technically, if you want to fold him out all the way in in an awkward, unnatural stance, it can reach 21 inches. Chances are in the poses, more naturally wing poses, you're going to have him folded up a little bit at an angle. And it's not going to take up a full width of 22 inches or 21 inches on your shelf. 22 inches is actually the Toothless from Dragons that I saw the other day in the store. He's got there's a new one. It's got giant wings, and you can put some water in him, and it makes it look like he's breathing steam before he shoots his lightning. It looks pretty cool. But anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, here's Predaking, and I feel like, I don't know, 60 may be a little much for him. He's nice. He's big. There are some neat points to him. If he were 40, I'd be more into it. And I realize cost of plastics. Up to you. He is a nice dragon. I'm a big fan of dragons. I'm happy to see some of these great dragon molds we're getting in the Beast Hunters line. Very neat idea, mythical creatures and all that. I just wish I wish there were a little bit more paint apps in robot mode, but we'll get to that. But so yeah, here he is. He's a giant dragon. He does have the crossbows that can plug in up on his wings that fire missiles pretty well. There's the missile right there. Kind of textured missiles that plug in these crossbows, and you don't have to leave them on there. You can take them off. And there's the crossbow itself. It's just a small little weapon right there. Make sure we're focused here. Okay, looks like we're good. But you can go ahead and take those off. Now there is a little lever right here. It's got some texture on it, so your thumb can grip it. And when you pull it down, it makes his head light up. A little bit more impressive under dimmer lighting conditions. And you see it also makes his mouth open. Now the shame about it is that in a neutral mouth position, his head tilts all the way back like that, and he's looking up at the sky, and you can't really get him. You can kind of get him to stay in a semi-neutral pose with his mouth wide open. I'd like to be able to pose him with his mouth shut and forward, just to give him more of a dragony look to him. But you can't. The spring kind of springs that back. Probably can disable that mechanism. I'll check it out later. But there it is. It's neat, I guess, that it lights up. But I feel like this probably would have been a cheaper figure had they left the electronics out. And it's not impressive. They bill it as light up fire breath. Okay, it's really not light up fire breath. It's light up head. And as I said, unless you're in a dim room, it really isn't even all that impressive. So it's not the best feature in the world. Now the transformation is, honestly, I think the transformation might even be simpler than the Voyager, or at least on the same level. It's not a very complex transformation. And basically all you do here is you want to lift the wings up. And the wings do snap off. They come detached in package because these little round cylinders that the wings attach to are where the batteries go. You have to unscrew it right there and pop this plate off. But they are notched and they are textured, so they do ratchet into positions here as you transform them. But you lift these up, I'm going to pop the tail off, and the tail just, you can kind of see it plugs in and has a little bit right there that holds it in place. I like to go ahead and fold these down a little bit just to get the wings out of the way, so they're not sticking all wide out during the transformation. You can lift this up a little bit. And basically how you transform the legs, make sure I'm on camera here, is they're plugged in right up here, and you rotate this whole piece around and rotate the leg out like that, and then it pegs in. Again, the orange peg pops in right up there, and you got that going. And you can see that brings the silver part of the talons around to the back and brings the front part of his foot out to the front of the knee. And you can bring the little knee guard down. And same on the other side. Rotate it around, lift it up, snap it in, bring the knee guard down. And there you go. Then you just stand him up. Got him standing there. How we doing? Oh, he's still on frame. Awesome. Bring the arms down, and then bring these spikes forward. You close up the toes and rotate them to make the fists. You'll see he does have little peg holes there. And then you pretty much just take this whole dragon head assembly, fold it down onto his back, just like that, and then take his head, turn it around, and that's it. There's Predaking in his robot mode. Let's see if we can't get it a little brighter in there so you can see a little bit more of the detail. There we go. And like I said, there's some silver detailing here that's kind of hard to see. I was hoping for a little bit more of the copper and gold highlights on his chest like he has in the show. The little kind of candy corn fading on his legs is kind of nicely done. It's a slow transition from kind of a yellowy up here that matches up into his belly into a deeper orange down the legs, like a medium orange, and then more of a red orange as you get down to his feet. So there are some neat idea paint app-wise on him. It's just a shame there's not more of them. Like I said, just a little bit more detail up in his chest. You can see there's orange and black, and it all works down here on the legs and on the arms, and then the chest is kind of this black empty void, aside from some silver right here, which again doesn't really pop off the figure the way it's done. It's like a really light dusting of a metallic silver that blends in very much. There's there's two little buttons up, or little ridges up here, one of which is this clear yellow one, and that's actually a button. You can make his chest and head light up, and again, it's okay. I mean, I guess it's nice. There's no sounds or anything. It's just literally those LEDs, both here and in the dragon head. And I just feel like for $60, they could have made this gimmick a little bit more impressive. It's neat that it's there, but it really doesn't add anything to the figure. I do think it is a little bit more impressive here in robot mode when the chest and head lighting up. But and even then, like you're seeing, like there's a bright glow here in the middle, but there is actually a subtle glow here on the sides of his abdomen or on his pecs. That doesn't look like the camera's picking up very well. But so it is more than just this dot right here in the center. But even still, unless you're going to tape this down and waste batteries, and it is 2 AA batteries to power the LEDs, just hold that down until the batteries die. That's pretty much the only way you're going to get any real popping of the chest detail, and even then in a dim room, because under bright lighting in a normally lit room where you want to be able to see what you're doing, it doesn't pop very well. It doesn't show up. So yeah. Sculpt-wise, I think the sculpt is great. The robot mode is really where this guy, I think, wins. His robot mode is very nice, and he's going to look really cool going up against your Voyager Optimus Prime, because I think that scale works really well. I forgot to grab my Voyager Optimus Prime because I didn't realize. I actually picked this guy up on the way into work. I didn't realize I was going to find him, so I didn't have my Voyager Optimus Prime with me. I do have G1 Sandstorm, which again, complementary colors with the orange and black and all that. But just to get an idea of how big he is, he's about 8-9 inches tall. He is very impressive. He looks cool in robot mode, and that's, I think, what's going to save him from getting chucked. Well, not chucked, but turn around and flipped. He is really nice, and just a few extra paint apps, I think, would really seal the deal for me here in robot mode. And again, even the dragon mode is cool if the gimmick were a little bit more impressive and you could pose the head a little bit more than just push it down and the mouth opens and it very dimly lights up. Now the peg hole in his hand fits this peg hole, and then this can kind of sit in the rest of his fingers to look like he's actually holding on to the sword itself. Just like that. It is a little heavy. His arms are not quite capable of supporting it straight out. Although again, there are poses you can certainly get to that allow him to hold it in various positions. And then each of the crossbows can peg onto his forearm, just like this. So you can give him secondary weapons, and you can actually, if you want, you can have him hold them like that as well. So he can hold the crossbow in his hands. I think it looks more natural to have the sword in his hands and have the crossbows just peg in like that. So yeah, all in all, and again, looking at him now in robot mode again, like I kind of went through as I transformed and messed around with him, and I had him in robot mode. I'm like, oh, he's pretty impressive. Got him back into dragon mode. It's kind of like, okay, I like dragons, so he's gonna get a pass on that, but still, he could be a cooler dragon. But his robot mode's actually pretty nice. I do wish I wish the wings could fold up a little bit more. And I realized doing foldable wings on a toy, there's safety restrictions and all that. I do wish they folded up a little tighter to his back like they did in the show. I realize we're not going to get ones that can fold up like actual leathery bat-like wings and collapse down on all the spines and tuck right up against his back. But it would have been nice if they could have tucked up a little closer to his back. Mostly for display purposes, so I can fit him in there without having his giant wings sticking off to the sides. But yeah, he's like I said, if you want a good Predaking, I think especially in robot mode, I think this is the best one out there. And even the Dragon mode is not bad. But you got to weigh that against $60. And he may be one that you want to pick up later on if you find him cheaper. If you're a big fan of the character, then maybe he's worth $60 to you. I don't know. I think, like I said, $40 is about where I think this guy should be sitting. And that's me just based on this is how I feel about this figure and what it offers you. I realize that there are all sorts of cost measure, how they figure out what it costs. $60 may be, in today's market with what they've put in it, $60 may be a very legitimate retail cost for this guy. I'm not saying like, oh, boo, Hasbro, you keep raising the prices for stupid figures. That may be exactly where this thing should sit price point wise. What I'm saying is just for me, I feel like at $40 I would feel comfortable buying this figure. At $60, I feel like what you're getting versus $60 is it's right there on that line. It's a little much. I think it's $60. But again, up to you to make that decision for yourself. Everybody has their own different limits and different favorite figures and all that. My personal opinion is that I'd wholeheartedly recommend him at $40. At $60, I have some reservations. But there he is, Beast Fire Predaking from the Beast Hunters Predacons Rising line, and it's available at Target. It's a Target exclusive, so check it out.